Alright, time for me to finally get off my lazy butt and review a movie that's been out for about 2 weeks now. The Jungle Book, directed by Jon Favreau, came out a couple weeks ago, and it's a live-action-ish remake of the old Disney classic from the 1960s. I say ish because about 99% of this movie is CGI. So if you took out Mowgli, is it really a live-action movie? Think about that. And it's more just based off of the Jungle Book in general, because it borrows about just as much from the original animated movie as it does from the old short stories by Rudyard Kipling. But anyways, as far as the 60s Jungle Book movie goes, Disney had a lot of production problems with that movie. Walt Disney died during the production of it. The Disney studio was kind of in a rut financially, so they reused a lot of footage, and as a whole, I think it's an okay movie. It doesn't hold up as well rewatch. As a kid, I thought it was awesome. Rewatching it now, I'm kind of like, there's no plot to it. They just kind of wander around the whole time. And then Shere Khan shows up at the end. He's like, hey, I'm a villain. Mowgli ties a fiery tree branch to his tail. He runs off, and there's the end of the movie. However, this Jungle Book movie, I think, is actually better than the animated movie. Okay. Generally speaking, I'm not a big fan of these Disney live-action remake movies. I know Snow White and the Huntsman wasn't done by Disney, but still, Snow White and the Huntsman wasn't very good. Hated Alice in Wonderland, hated Maleficent. I actually didn't mind Cinderella. I haven't watched it since theaters, but when I saw it, I was like, it's kind of cool. But yeah, this movie's amazing. I never thought I'd say that one of these live-action Disney remakes could improve upon the animated movie, but this is the rare case where it actually did. One of my big concerns going into this movie was just the fact that there were so many big celebrity voices, such as Bill Murray and Idris Elba, Scarlett Johansson, Christopher Walken, that I didn't know if I'd be able to buy into them as the characters that I know from the animated movie. But I totally bought into all of them. Christopher Walken was still the one where I was like, it's Christopher Walken doing King Louie, it's not King Louie. And the whole I want to be like you monkey temple scene was weird because it went from really dark and serious to kind of playful to back in dark and serious in the course of 1 minute. But it was definitely an entertaining scene to watch, so that's good. But Bill Murray as Baloo, he was one of the ones where I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to buy into him. I think it's just going to be Bill Murray's voice coming through a bear. But I totally bought him as Baloo. And he's the same Baloo that you know from the animated movie. He's super lazy. He's like, no, I'm not about that man village or any of that. Let's do the fun life. And so that creates a great dynamic with him and Bagheera, and they have that same rapport that they had in the animated movie. Because Bagheera, while he's a stick in the mud, he's not really wrong with what he's doing because he wants Mowgli to get to safety. And Baloo also, while he's keeping Mowgli from that safety, he's also not wrong in the fact that he wants Mowgli to stay in the jungle because Mowgli wants to stay in the jungle, but also Mowgli's a kid, so he doesn't really know that there's this big freaking tiger that's about to kill him. And speaking of that big freaking tiger, Idris Elba. Oh, wow. When they were announcing the voice cast, most of them, I was having that problem with I don't know if I'm going to be able to buy into them. Idris Elba was always the one where I'm going to be like, no, he's perfect for Shere Khan. And he was. He's menacing. He is creepy. He's there's one scene in this movie where Mowgli, it's at the end when Mowgli's standing up to him, and he's all like, I'm not afraid of you, Shere Khan. I'm just sitting there in the theater, and I'm all like, I mean, I'd be kind of afraid of him if I were you. He's cool and collective when he needs to be, but he's also the savage brute when he needs to be. And you see a lot more of him in this than you do in the animated movie. Gives you more time to be like, dude, this guy is bad news. He starts manipulating the wolves and toying with the cubs because they were the ones that were hiding Mowgli before. And in the end, when all the action and the excitement's going down, even though the whole jungle was CGI, the animals were all CGI, I thought it looked great. I totally bought into it. When the animals are tussling, I was like, dude, this is it looks like I'm watching one of those documentaries on Animal Planet or something, but it's more cinematic, obviously, because this is a movie, so it looks cooler. But this is that kind of realism. This is probably the best CGI movie with animals that I've seen since Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. The kid playing Mowgli was great. The music in the movie was also really great. They borrow a lot from the Sherman Brothers original themes. The animated movie starts off in the opening credits. It's got this cool little it's a really mellow jungle-y type of song. It's hard to describe. But anyways, after the opening castle logo happens in this movie, it kind of chills down and it goes into that same theme, but it's redone by John Debney. And when that happened, I was like, oh, welcome to the jungle where we got fun and games. We got everything you want. How do we know the name? Voice cast all around was good. I do have a couple gripes with the movie. One of them is the scene with Kaa, and there is only one scene with Kaa. And I get it. They wanted to have Scarlett Johansson and Kaa in the movie because Kaa is a big part of the original Jungle Book movie. And the scene is entertaining, but looking back on it, I'm like, that was clearly just a scene for backstory. And a scene because they wanted to have Kaa in the movie. There's really no need for it apart from that. And not all the songs from the original Jungle Book movie are in this movie, so I was kind of disappointed by that. But at the same time, I don't think a lot of those songs would have mixed well with this movie, such as the elephant song, because the elephants aren't a big part of this movie. But you got your bare necessities, you got I Want to Be Like You, kind of. It's mainly in the credits. Overall, this new Jungle Book CGI-ish live-action movie is a lot better, I think, than the animated movie from the 60s. Voice cast was great. The kid playing Mowgli was great. I want to see that kid in more things. Go check this movie out if you haven't already. It's definitely worth your time. But if you have seen this movie, let me know what you think in the comments down below. I know they're working on a sequel for this movie, so where do you think that they should take the sequel? Just comment down below with your thoughts on that. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, you can click subscribe, check out some of my other stuff, and I will catch you guys next time.